Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear brothers and sisters, and welcome to Ask Huda, which is your show, where you get to ask your questions about any aspect of Islam, whether it pertains to rulings, ahkam, aqeedah, iman, belief, or even matters of spirituality. And with me is our Shaykh, Dr. Muhammad Salah, who is ready to answer your questions. As ever, our phone number is 00202 38555 248 or 249. Or alternatively, you can email us at ask@huda.tv, where we will review your questions and then present them over the next few days. Please keep to our number one rule when you do call, which is to please keep your volume down or move to another room when you ask the question, because it distracts you and it distracts us because there is a delay in the feed. So without much further ado, we'll get straight into our first question addressed to Dr. Muhammad Salah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and thank you for the beautiful introduction. As far as being ready, I don't know about that. It's solely up to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is something that we have to share with the viewers, that we do not engineer the phone calls, nor do we prepare the questions. So if the question comes, we may know the answer, we may not. If we don't know, we'll be more than happy to say we'll find out for you.
Yes, Jazakallah khairan for that clarification. Sheikh, the first question is following on from yesterday, which is a brother Abdul Halim from Saudi Arabia. He was mentioning how he and his wife, they are praying separate prayers, they're not praying in Jama'ah. And his wife, happens that her room is in front of his room in the direction of the Qibla. So is there any problem in this?
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi wa kafa wa salamun ala ibadihi alladhina astafa. La siyama al-Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallama tasliman kathira. No doubt it is good to ask. If you don't know any mas'ala, it's important to ask instead of speculating the hukm, then building ahkam based on that. There is no problem whatsoever if the wife is praying in a room or in the hall ahead of her husband, as long as they're not praying in jama'ah or congregation. The right setup in jama'ah, as the Prophet ﷺ used to line up men first, then children, then women. And we confirm repeatedly, it is not because women are any inferior to men, rather because of the nature of our physical activities in the prayer of bowing down, of prostration. And in the prayer, the person must attain the maximum khushu', not to think about any sort of temptation. So if a woman is praying at home, and her husband happens to be in a room praying behind her, there is no problem whatsoever. Similarly, when some people have some questions pertaining, if somebody between the prayers, especially Taraweeh and Tahajjud, where the prayer is long, some people like to stretch out their legs. So they stretch them towards the Qibla. Others will be very furious and they may shout, they may scream, say, haram, haram, haram. Why? Because you're facing the Kaaba. So what? My legs are a part of me. That's not polite. When it comes to religion and religious practices, it's not about the cultural traditions.
Yes, very
It
true.
may differ. It may differ, not necessarily that they have to differ. So there is no problem if you stretch out your... And I have seen in the Haram a few months back, somebody stretched out his legs, but against the Kaaba. So he gave his head to the Kaaba and he lied down. And another person with a big turban said, haram, 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 you cannot give your head to the Kaaba. And the guy didn't know what to do. Give his head or his legs. There is no problem whatsoever, even if you're sitting in Haram and you stretch out your legs towards the Kaaba. Wallahu a'lam.
Barakallahu feekum, Sheikh. Yes, we have Sister Sarah from United Arab Emirates who is waiting on the line. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Ask Huda, and please ask your question.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sheikh Salah, I wanted to ask you one question. My parents are quite old and they have gone to perform Umrah and they are traveling by road. So I just wanted to know that if they enter the city of Makkah, so they have to be in a state of ihram, or can they go to Makkah, stay in a hotel overnight, take rest, and the next day they can go, to the miqat and tie the ihram and then go to perform Umrah, or anybody traveling outside the country has to enter Makkah in a state of ihram? Is it like that compulsory?
Yes, Jazakallah khairan for that. Jazakallah khairan for that question. Yes, Sheikh. So the parents are traveling. They are maybe being a bit tired to do Umrah straight away. It's a long journey. What should they do? Can they stay, if they're going to stay overnight in a hotel and perform Umrah the next day, do they have to be in Ihram and spend the night, or can they wait till the next day whilst in Makkah and then go to the appropriate miqat, tie the Ihram, put on the Ihram there, assume the state of Ihram, and then perform
This
Umrah?
question consists of two parts. The first part is pertaining entering Mecca with or without a state of Ihram. If any person is visiting Mecca with the intention of performing either nusuk, Hajj or Umrah, then it is not permissible for any person to cross the mawaqit, the appointed areas or points by the Prophet ﷺ, that if any person is coming from any direction, Yalamlam if you're coming from the Yemen direction, Dhat Irq if you're coming from Iraq, Al-Jahfa or Al-Juhfa if you're coming from the Medina, which is known as Abyar Ali now. So you cannot cross the appointed miqat, appointed points, without assuming the intention of ihram, by dressing in the ihram outfit if you're a male, and if you're a female in your regular clothes, and by uttering the talbiyah saying labbaik Allahumma, then specify what kind of nusuk you intend to do, whether it's umrah or hajj or both. In the condition which we have now, it's umrah, so say labbaik Allahumma umrah. That is the first part. And if any person crosses the miqat while he or she is going to Mecca with the intention of performing the nusuk of hajj or umrah, then they have violated a wajib, and it can be made up simply by either returning back. They make sure that you recite the talbiyah from the miqat, which will be very impossible if people are flying, especially if they're flying, or by ransoming that by offering a sacrifice, and the sacrifice is a blood of a sheep that has to be slaughtered and distributed in Mecca among the poor of Mecca, and since it's a penalty, you cannot eat from its meat nor taste its soup. That is the first part of the question. The second part, now alhamdulillah, I intended to do the Umrah or the Hajj, and I entered Mecca assuming the intention of Ihram from the appointed miqat, but I'm tired, or I don't feel like performing Umrah right now, I want to rest. No problem, a day or two, as long as you maintain the Ihram and observe the mahdhurat of Ihram, you avoid any of them, the restrictions of Ihram. And some people like, once they enter Mecca, to take a shower and head directly to the Haram and perform the Umrah. It is your call, and there is no problem.
Barakallahu feek, Sheikh. We have another sister online from the United Arab Emirates as well, Sister Lohid. Sister, go ahead, please ask your question.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. My question is that I'm paying my zakah, but now I am alone and savings. I have read that there are two opinions. One says that even if you have a debt, you should pay your zakah. So I need your opinion for that. That should I now pay zakah, or should I leave it till I settle my loan?
Sister Nasheen, you have not paid your zakah yet, have you?
Sorry?
You have not paid your zakah yet, have you?
I have not paid zakah. But now I have a loan which is more than my goal and my savings.
I got the part.
So what should I do?
I got the part pertaining the loan, but did you pay your zakah yet?
No, not yet. Not
yet. The loan that you owe, is it due immediately or over several years?
It is like I'm paying my installments. I owe my father. I bought a house and he paid for me, and I'm paying it out of my rent, like this.
Okay,
so it is for several years.
Okay, Sister Nasheen, since your debt or loan is not owed immediately, then you pay the zakah on your possessions which you control or have under your ownership, and you take out the part or the installment which is due right now, you take it out and you don't pay zakah on it. But since the loan is owed over several years or installment, then that does not waive the zakah payment on your entire position, which is zakatable.
Jazakallah khairan, Sheikh. We have a brother on the line, Brother Muhammad from Nigeria. Ahlan wa sahlan. Please ask your question.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum
assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Ramadan Kareem.
Same to you, Brother
to you,
Muhammad.
Yeah, please, they dashed me one Quran, but the Quran is not complete. There is no Surah Al-Fatiha and the 5 ayah of Surah Al-Baqarah. Can I read the Quran or Quran is not complete?
Okay, so you have a version or a copy of the Quran which is missing some verses? Is this what you mean?
Yeah, from the complete Quran.
Okay, you need to go to the bookstore which you bought it from and inform...
No, it's a dash. They dashed the Quran for me. I don't know why they bought the Quran. After they dashed me the Quran, I checked there is no Surah Al-Fatiha and the first about 4 verse or 3 verse of Surah Al-Baqarah. The Quran is not complete.
Yeah. As I said, you have to go back to the bookstore, return the Quran, and inform them that they have to take out all the copies which are missing some parts, because this is a big crime if it was done deliberately, and you have to report that to the authorities. Every once in a while, we see some attempts from enemies of Islam. They try to make some alteration, whether in the vowels or in the words of the Quran, or by deducting or taking out some chapters or verses. But alhamdulillah wa shukrullah, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who maintains the preservation of the Quran, and it is preserved in the hearts of the Huffaz. It is very easy to detect it, unlike any other book on earth, even if it is a religious book. So if you ever find a version of the Quran which is missing even a dot or a vowel or whatever, you have to report that immediately to the authorities and take it back to the bookstore and ask them to take out the copies after investigating whether it was just an individual error in the version that you have, or is it a mass error in every copy that they have.
Jazakallah khairan, Sheikh. One question we got emailed was from Sister Amina in the United States of America. She asked, if it is possible, is it halal to befriend Muslim jinn?
That takes me back to the opinions of the scholars when they were talking about the punishment for adultery. If a woman claims that she is pregnant without having a husband, and that was kind of spreading at the time of our predecessors of the Fuqaha and Abu Hanifa and others. So they said that she will be punished, the had of the zina, of adultery, if she claims that she is pregnant because she is married to a jinn, because that opens the door of fitna. Every woman who may have an illicit relationship or commits adultery, she would come forward and say, I'm married, but I'm married to the jinn. The general ruling concerning our relationship to the jinn is laid down in the Quran clearly. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِنَّهُ يَرَاكُمْ هُوَ وَقَبِيلُهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا تَرَوْنَهُمْ. Can you see the jinn? No. But they can see us. This is the nature of the relationship between us and them. The sister said, a Muslim jinn. Are there Muslim jinn? Yes, of course. Surah Al-Jinn addressed that. When the Prophet ﷺ was reciting the Quran, and some of the jinn overheard him, and they called others and they listened to the Quran, and they said, إِنَّا سَمِعْنَا قُرْآنًا عَجَبًا يَهْدِي إِلَى الرُّشْدِ فَآمَنَّا بِهِ وَلَن نُشْرِكَ بِرَبِّنَا أَحَدًا. We have heard an amazing Quran that guides to righteousness, and we will not associate with our Lord any in worship. They made a statement. The Quran also recorded that وَأَنَّا مِنَّا الْمُسْلِمُونَ وَمِنَّا الْقَاسِطُونَ فَمَنْ أَسْلَمَ فَأُولَٰئِكَ تَحَرَّوْا رَشَدًا وَأَمَّا الْقَاسِطُونَ فَكَانُوا لِجَهَنَّمَ حَطَبًا. Among the jinn, there are some who are Muslims, and they have takalif. We don't know if their takalif are the same like ours, or they're asked to fulfill other takalif. Al-jinn, to us, is a world of unseen. We know nothing about them except what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings to our attention in the Quran or through the sound sunnah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So it's not accepted from any person to say, I have a friend who is a jinni, or I have a girlfriend who is a jinniya, and she speaks whatever language, and we got married, we heard this a lot, and those people have to be disciplined. And we have to stop this immediately. If you want to befriend somebody who is righteous. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Al-mar'u ala dini khalili, falyanzur ahadukum man yukhalil.
Jazakallah khairan, Sheikh. We have a brother Abdul Kareem from Saudi Arabia who's waiting on the line. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum, ya Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, I have a question.
Brother Abdul Kareem, I'm afraid you may be breaking our number one rule. We only have one rule apart from the rules of Islam. That is, please turn your TV off or go to another room. Please turn your TV down, otherwise we won't be able to continue the conversation. Jazakallah khairan.
Sir, I first of all want to thank the whole staff and the person who laid this foundation in telecasting this Huda TV. And really, I am proud of this. And I hope this goes with a great opinion that all of us in this world will hear this program and increase our iman.
Ameen.
Ameen.
Alhamdulillah. Ameen. Summa ameen.
Ameen. Thank you so much. May Allah bless you. Beautiful words.
MashaAllah.
And I would like to seize this opportunity and remind our viewers. Yes, alhamdulillah, the brothers who started this project, may Allah bless them immensely. But we would like everybody else to support in sponsoring programs and maintaining this program on air and maintaining the entire channel programs on air. And you all know that that's happening by the leave of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through your support. So you need to remember that in Ramadan, inshallah.
Yes, and just to remind the brothers and sisters that anything that you donate, remember you can contact us via support@huda.tv. That any support you give, remember, look at the reward. You're reaching millions of people across a number of continents just from your support. So please donate generously, and this is dawah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so what a great reward this can be for you in the hereafter. So yes, we have a brother, Omar from Nigeria. Please go ahead and ask your question. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sorry, I have two questions and one statement to make. Yesterday, while answering my question, you said something about like for like when it comes to silver for silver. Now, this is my question. If I buy a kilo of silver at maybe like $100, if I'm selling it back, most of the time it will be less than what I bought it. Now, if they're giving me the same 1 kilo, they will charge me maybe like 200. Is that in this instance, is that riba?
Mm-hmm.
Now, my second question, alhamdulillah, I forgot my second question, but my statement is to Brother Salim, ahlan wa sahlan, to Brother Salah, may Allah increase all of us in patience
Ameen.
for this work you're doing, and may Allah grant us paradise.
Ameen. Ameen. Jazakallah
Thank
khair.
you, brother. Thank you, Omar.
Yes, Sheikh. So the brother is referring to he says that he has experienced perhaps depreciation of silver, as we talked about, for the same weight of silver or gold or precious metal, or even food, that we do not consider the quality in the sale or the swapping of commodities. So how can we answer the question of the brother who is saying that kilogram of silver, for example, maybe $100, when he buys it, he may sell it, he will only get $90 for it. Is there any problem with that? Is this actually riba as well?
No, the riba is not in selling and buying. This is what the non-Muslims have claimed, and the Quran reported that. They said, وَقَالُوا إِنَّمَا الْبَيْعُ مِثْلُ الرِّبَى وَأَحَلَّ اللَّهُ الْبَيْعَ وَحَرَّمَ الرِّبَى. They said there is no much difference between selling, buying and trade and riba. It's all business and based on agreement. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said nay. And instead Allah made al-bay'a, selling and buying, lawful, while al-riba is unlawful. And the difference is big, like the difference between the East and the West. Perhaps I can explain after I take this phone call, inshallah.
Okay, Jazakallah khairan, Sheikh. We have Sister Anne from Egypt. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister, please go ahead and give us your question.
Wa alaikum salam and happy Ramadan, Ramadan Kareem.
Ameen. And
Same to you, sister.
Thank you. I have a question. I was watching one of the programs with Sheikh Kareem, and he was talking about how shaitan affects people. And he was saying that the first way he tries to affect them is to get them to make shirk, and then if that doesn't work, and they're Muslim, for example, he tries to get them to do major sins, and then if that doesn't work, then he goes on to minor sins, and then if that doesn't work, he tries to get the Muslims to waste their time. So I would imagine that somebody who's not making major sins or minor sins must be someone who is praying and probably doing sunnah and things like this. So my concern is in this wasting time issue, would that maybe encompass hobbies like needlework or those things? Because he said it would be wasting your time in halal things.
Okay.
So if you could just explain that a little more,
sure.
And then how can I tell if I'm wasting my time?
Okay. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Jazakallah khairan for that very good question. Yes, Sheikh.
Okay, with regards to al-bay', if you buy some goods or merchandise and sell them later in a greater value, it's a subject of gain or loss, right? Every business is like that.
Yes.
There is no assurance. You can be sure 99%, but maybe that 1% would prevail, and you end up losing. This is business, subject of loss and gain. In the case of riba, when you give somebody, you condition or you put a term that I have to collect my capital sum, my loan, in addition to certain percentage. So this percentage, which is guaranteed from the beginning that you will collect it, this is what is haram. But if you sell any goods that you bought and you make tons of money as a profit according to the urf or the average profit that people collect. Somebody bought a property today and they dug a road and it became on a highway or it became in a neighborhood which is the real estate value has become very, very expensive, double and triple. I bought it for 100,000, the value now is $1 million. Is this halal? It is 100% halal.
Yes.
Because the opposite could be true. In Texas one day, that the real estate value was very high. And when there was a drought, even though there is oil, but they have to leave because there was no water. So there was a depreciation and the real estate value was very bad, was terrible. Likewise, every business is subject to gain or loss. If this is the case, if we buy a property together, if I invest my money with you, and instead of giving you a loan, that you were taking a loan from me in order to grow your business. So instead I said, okay, I would like to invest with you. You said, I'm going to work and I will invest in your money. I would give you 30% of the profit. This is cool. This is fair. 30%, 40%, whatever percentage that we agree to. But you just mentioned a percentage, but I'm talking about a percentage of the net profit. If there is a profit. That means if we lose, the same percentage will be deducted from your investment. If we lose, then you lose 30% of the amount which we lost. If we gain, if we make a profit, you get 30%. So the 30% does not mean that you will get definitely 50,000 or 60,000. The 30% could be more or less depending on the profit, which no one can determine. We can only speculate and guess, but only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala determines, because He knows the unseen, whether this business will be profitable or not. Wallahu a'lam. As far as Sister Anne, do you have a call?
Yes, we have a call from Sister Anzine from Saudi Arabia.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum
Sister
assalam wa
Anushina,
barakatuh.
assalamu alaikum, sister.
Yeah, hello. My question is, in India, women are offering Taraweeh prayer in separate house, reading by Hafiz, without any man. So is it permissible?
So sister, so Taraweeh is being offered by a number of women in any houses without a male imam. Is this permissible in Jama'ah?
Did you have an imam at all? One of you sisters, for instance, a lady who's leading the prayer?
Sorry?
Can any one of you sisters lead the prayer?
No, only women are offering behind in a Hafiz.
Okay, I got the question.
Yeah.
Okay, I have another question. Can I?
Sure.
Yes, sure. Go ahead, sister.
Yeah, Sheikh, can you suggest any supplication to make our memory sharp? I mean, whatever I read, I always forget. So, can you suggest any supplication?
Yes, so basically you're looking for a special invocation or dua or supplication to improve your memory.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, inshallah. Yes. Yes, Sheikh.
Thank you.
Okay, Jazakallah khair. Yes, we'll take another call as well. Brother Mushtaq from the United Arab Emirates. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Mushtaq. Go ahead with your question. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
This is regarding about health card and health insurance. Actually, I think I have seen some programs that you all already spoken about this, but I always miss my answer. The thing was, in UAE, to get the visa stamp, the health insurance card is a must, is a mandatory in UAE law. And my company, in my contract, it says they are supposed to provide me health and medical for me and my family.
Mm-hmm.
And they have provided me a health insurance card. Now, I just want to know whether I'm able to use this because it's a requirement of the law to get the visa or the company visa done without the insurance
Yes,
card?
Brother Mushtaq, yes indeed. If any person anywhere, whether in a Muslim or a non-Muslim country, is obliged by law in order to process certain paperwork, get a visa, renew his work permit or whatever, that he's got to buy an insurance or whatever, which is not the premium, rather the basic, then if he only sticks to the requirement, that he is not blameworthy. Wallahu a'lam.
Okay, but my company has provided me the health card. It's the premium one. I'm not paying anything, but the company has provided me for the whole year.
Okay.
Can I use that for me and my family?
Okay, since it is not optional and coverage is provided by the company, you benefit out of it and there is no problem as well. The problem is when you go yourself willingly, invest in what I call it, not me personally, but the fiqh committees, and the scholars since Abu Hanifa, because the sailors used to have this kind of insurance as well, which is called commercial insurance. I call it gambling. You put certain amount, you pay the first payment, and God forbid the person dies, for instance. So his family get to collect the policy, which is 1 million or 2 million. What did you do in order to collect that much money? You only made a few payments or a small amount of money. So I only collect what I invested, what I put, what I paid. And since it's not a trade, nor is it a business or an investment, so this is the money I give you in front of a service that you offer me. What is the service? It's unknown. النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم نهى عن بيع الغرر. بيع الغرر is a confusing trade or uncertain business, such as somebody who's a fisherman is going to fish in the sea today. So somebody asked him, what are you up to? He said, I'm going to fish. He said, okay, I will pay whatever you fish today for 100 dinar. Here is the money, and whatever fish you collect is mine. This transaction is invalid. Why is that? Because we don't know how much fish will he collect. Whether he will catch any or none. He may catch just one. He may catch more than the value of the 100 dinar. So this transaction is invalid because it is gharar. There is a confusion, and that caused the conflict in between the people, between people, the sellers and the buyers. Likewise, somebody might end up paying for 10 years and doesn't use the insurance whatsoever. So the money which I'm paying, I did not benefit out of it. And for any reason, if this person got fired or laid off and was not able to make the next payment, his contract would be seized. And even if he needs assistance, they will deny it because he's not eligible anymore. So the congregational insurance, where the syndicates or the groups or the insurance which is provided by the government, is definitely the solution. Allahu A'lam.
And I sort of heard something from Brother Mushtaq that so is he allowed to benefit from this? For example, if his family or his family become ill, can he actually go to a private hospital and benefit from this?
If he did not pay for it, this is something that the company provides and pays for it. He did not subscribe willingly for it. Then this is a benefit that is coming from the company. You may use it with the average limit. Because the other day somebody came to me and said, my company gives me every year $900, for instance, to change my eyeglasses. I said, okay, every year. He said, well, I already have plenty and I'm not in need to change my eyeglasses. But the eyeglasses shop offered me to give me sunglasses instead for the same amount. Is that permissible? I said, well, did your company give you the offer to use the money in whichever way you like, or specify that you have to purchase with it, if you're going to use it, sunglasses, prescription glasses?
Yes.
So he said, no, it's only for prescription glasses. I said, then it's not permissible to use it otherwise.
Shukran, Jazakallah khairan, Sheikh. We have Sister Taslima on the line from Saudi Arabia. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum, Dr. Salah and brother.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Dr. Salah, I have two questions regarding my son. He is 20 years old and he is studying in India.
Okay.
Yes, actually he is praying his Tarawih. His college hours are very long till 5 o'clock evening. He is praying Tarawih 8 rakats and is coming back from the masjid. And he is only praying 8 rakats in masjid. Is it all right or it is wrong?
And the Imam is praying 21?
No, Imam is praying 20 rakats, yes, but he is praying 8 rakats and coming back from the masjid because he has many studies to do and he is tired also.
Okay.
Is it permissible? And other question, I have one more question, Dr. Salah, regarding him. He is very practicing Muslim, mashallah.
Alhamdulillah.
But what he is doing, most of the time he is spending in doing the dawah work, like small works. He is sending hadith and many articles to his relatives and friends, and making speeches for masjid, for getting together the boys and doing the dawah work, small works like dawah. But due to this, his studies are being affected. I want your advice regarding him. I feel afraid when I tell him stop all these things, make it less so that your study should not be affected. When I tell him this, he says that I have to do more for my akhirah. This dunya is for very few times, so I must do more for akhirah. I need your advice for him.
Okay, Sister Taslima, I'm happy for you to have such a beautiful son, and inshallah, hopefully after the break we'll comment on your question.
Okay, Jazakallah khairan, Sheikh. That's right, we'll be going straight now to a break, but please don't go away. Please join us again for another series of questions, both by email and by telephone at Ask Huda. Please stay tuned. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Each day we'll take one step closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, to the Quran, to our way of life. Each day we will explore the acts of worship that we do, and we will find out how they relate to our hearts, how they impact our souls, how they help us understand the reality of existence. All of this and much more in our show, One Step Closer. All of you are invited to join us. Share your stories, share your aspirations, share your love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We'll be happy to have you on board. Join us in One Step Closer.
story of Adam alayhi salam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught Adam the names of everything. Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam approached that fire and he was surprised. The arrow killed the boy. If you want to be saved in this world, get on the ark of Islam.
نحن نقص عليك أحسن القصص بما أوحينا إليك هذا القرآن وإن كنت من قبله لمن الغافلين.
Our schools, what is missing? Join Dr. Mamdoor Muhammad in Our Schools, What is Missing? He will be discussing the most common mistakes made in our educational systems.
What type of teaching they teach him, what they say to him, what books they select for him to read, what things that he listens to, what games that he begins to play with.
How to perfect the work in the school.
Our goal is to improve our school.
And we'll see practical solutions from the Book of Allah and the Sunnah of His Messenger.
Most of the criteria for success for us had been designed for us by our Creator.
Our Schools, What is Missing? In Ramadan on Huda TV.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to Ask Huda, where you can ask any question that you like concerning aspects of Islam. And we're going to go straight into a call from Sister Aisha in Nigeria. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Aisha.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum
assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Yes, sister, go ahead with your question.
My question is about zakat. I would like to remove my zakat for this year, but all my money is being owed outside. I have not been paid my money.
Okay, you need to explain a little more, Sister.
Hello?
You need to explain a little more, Sister Aisha. You said your money is set outside where?
I want to remove the zakat from my money, but I owe people all my money. So I don't have any money that is left to give out zakat.
Okay. You lend them.
I'm expecting the money back from people.
Okay. Okay. So you don't own.
Yes, I lent part of the money.
Mm-hmm.
Then part of the money I did job, which I'm not paid for.
Okay.
So basically, from what I understand, that she's owed money.
There are two parts of the question.
Yes.
A money that she lent to some people and she does not have it.
Yes.
Whether this money is zakatable or not. The second is that she did some work and she did not get paid for it, and this money is hers.
Yes.
As long as you did not get paid for it, it is zakatable when you get it.
Right.
And you complete the hawl for it, or the lunar year, as long as you did not receive it yet. As far as the money which you lend to others and it is zakatable, yes, of course, if they acknowledge this money and they do not deny it, and they have a sit day to pay you back, so in this condition, you still owe zakah on this money. If you don't have any money at all to pay zakah, then this money is a debt on you. Once you afford it, you have to pay it to the poor. Okay.
Yes. Jazakallah khairan, sister. There's another sister from Nigeria, Sister Halima, I believe it is. Go ahead, sister, ask your question. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, Ramadan Karim.
Same to you, sister.
Ashef, please, I need a clarification. I heard one imam saying that it is haram to watch TV, television, when we asked, and he gave us a reference that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, there is a hadith which says that some people come to the Prophet and he asks Nana Aisha to go to move in, and he's blind. But Nana Aisha said, Ya Rasulullah, he's blind, he can't see us. He said, if you can't see us.
Okay, I got the story. I got the story. Yeah.
Hello?
I got the story and the question, Sister Aisha. Thank you.
Jazakallah khairan, sister, for that question.
Is it halal or haram?
Okay, Sister Halima, I got the question. Next.
Yes, any more as far as so yes, Sheikh, we've got a bit of mashallah, a lot of callers today compared to yesterday. We've got a little bit of a backlog. So inshallah, let's go to Sister Anne from Egypt's question. She asked regarding hobbies. Is it a problem having a hobby such as needlecraft, needlework?
Not at all. As a matter of fact, it is very good to have a hobby and to change your routine. No one can pray 24/7. No one can constantly keep making dhikr, reciting Quran non-stop. No, take a break. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Sa'atun wa sa'a." Egyptians like to say, "Give 1 hour to your heart and 1 hour to your Lord," which is a false statement. That's got to be corrected. This statement was made by some actors or singers. This is a statement that equates disbelief. Because 1 hour to my Lord and every single minute of my life is to my Lord. What about the hobbies? It's also for my Lord. School, eating, drinking, vacationing, traveling, drawing, painting, and everything we do, that the person must understand that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَمَا خَلَقَتُ الْجِنَّ وَالْإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. To make it easier for you to understand what I mean is, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was a great leader, was the greatest leader, the greatest warrior, the greatest prophet, the greatest husband, the greatest father. And he spared some time to play with his grandchildren. He spared some time to race with Aisha. Not once, not twice, several times. Yes. And he spared some time. Sister Halima was quoting a story where the Prophet ﷺ was watching a show by the Abyssinians playing with their spears.
Yes.
And Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha wa was sitting her chin on his shoulders. Yes. And every time the Prophet is busy, he says, isn't it enough? She says, no, some more. I just want you to imagine this, that the Prophet ﷺ, Aisha is resting her head on his shoulder and she's watching from behind the curtain the show. Halal show. No problem. Yes. And she needs some more. Okay. Some more. Okay. Some more. Okay. So it's okay to have fun, halal fun. It's okay to have lawful hobbies. It was my best hobby to paint, lawful painting, or get involved in carving, wood, leather carving, stained glass, things like that. As long as I know that that does not disturb my schedule, which is, it does not interrupt my relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even if I'm in the middle of a painting, and the paint might dry, I hear the adhan, you stop everything, you go and pray.
Yes.
Okay? So you do not spoil your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or give priority to your hobbies over what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted from you. As a matter of fact, there is a beautiful hadith that's narrated by Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha wa ardaha fi al-Bukhari. She said, إن كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يدع العمل وهو يحبه خشية أن يفرض على أصحابه. The meaning after we take the phone calls.
Yes, Jazakallah khairan, Sheikh. Yes, we have Brother Jilani from Egypt waiting on the line. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Jilani.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Yes, تفضل أخي. What's your question?
Yeah, I live in the UK where I buy car insurance by installment. I paid by installment, but there's interest on it. Is it allowed? Is it allowed to pay interest?
No, it is not allowed. And same here, I used to buy the basic insurance because it was required for your driver's license. But I would pay, it's not much. But if you pay it on installment, you end up paying 6-7 sterling or pound or dollars. And that's this is interest money. So paying interest, while I can afford to get rid of it at once, since it's necessary, then that's a sin. You must get rid of it because the sin in riba is either in paying or receiving.
Yes. But I cannot afford to pay in full amount the whole year.
How much is the amount? It's 6 months, by the way, not a year.
It is 1 year policy every year.
Every year?
Yes, in the UK, that's right, yes. It's about a year.
You win.
Yes. I'm from the UK, so I could say that, but yes.
How much is the amount?
The amount can be different. It can be 1,000, it can be 2,000, it can be 500.
Yeah, we're talking
it
about
could be any amount.
Yeah, we're talking about the basic. Remember, you're only permitted to buy the basic requirement, and we have a British person who can tell us here as well. How much is the basic?
Sheikh, I mean, I will tell you for a fact that I've
experienced. You have a car to begin with.
Yes, I do have a car, alhamdulillah, and there's even a business for websites to find the cheapest price, and wallahi, there's been £200 difference in some of the policies, believe it or not.
So if you can go to a cheaper policy and pay it all up front, you waive the charge, which is the interest.
Yes, that's exactly khair.
Akhi, do your best to avoid angering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to avoid committing any violation. And wallahi, by Allah in whose hand is my soul, if a person seeks the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and does not do anything that may upset him, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give you a way out. This is guaranteed. And why I swore by Allah? Because it's in the Quran. Allah the Almighty said في سورة الطلاق وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقْهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبْ. Whosoever fears Allah and keeps his duty to Him, Allah will give him a way out of every hardship and difficulty, and will provide for him from ways that he could never expect. Wallahu a'lam.
Jazakallah khairan, Sheikh. We have Sister Adnan from Saudi Arabia waiting on the line. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Adnan. Please go ahead.
Wa alaikum salam. We have come from Sri Lanka on an Umrah visa to Saudi Arabia. We did our Umrah, and then what we did was we got back to Jeddah, where my mother stayed, and we have been here for a few days. Now we want to do another Umrah. So can we wear the ihram from my mother's house in Jeddah, or do we have to go to a miqat point?
You're residing currently in Jeddah.
This is the miqat point.
Adnan, you're residing currently in Jeddah, right?
And we are just staying on holiday for a few days. We did our Umrah, and then
I can't understand. I can't understand you. The voice is not clear. Just answer with yes or no. Are you staying currently in Jeddah?
We are not residents of Jeddah.
Correct, I understand, but my question is very clear. Are you staying now after performing Umrah? Are you staying currently in Jeddah?
Yes.
Okay, you can just assume the intention of Ihram from there and do your Umrah.
Okay, thank you, Jazakallah.
You're welcome.
Yes, but Jazakallah khairan, Sister Adnan, for your question. And yes, to get back to
Sister Anne.
Yes, Sister Anne. Yes, we're talking about the needlecraft and the how it was
the hadith which I quoted in Arabic, which is collected by Imam Bukhari and narrated by Aisha, al-Mu'mineen, the mother of the believers. May Allah be pleased with her. إن كان رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يدع العمل وهو يحبه خشية أن يفرض على أصحابه. She said, the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم sometimes or many times used to give up many good deeds, many righteous nawafil, for fearing that his companions might think or assume it's a wajib or a must. So he would interrupt. He would not pray constantly. And when some cases were presented before him, such as Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As, who used to fast on every single day, non-stop, and pray all night long, and Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam objected to that. And when the three people made vows similarly, extra ibadat, and they were going very extreme, and Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam objected to that. So take it easy on yourselves. You pray the fard, and you pray the attached or the relating nawafil before and after. And if you have a share to pray at night, you can also do your needlework. Since you don't have to pray in jama'ah in the masjid, just pray on time whenever it's adhan. And guess what? While painting, for instance, while carving my crafts, you can recite Quran if you're a hafiz. You can listen to the Quran. You can listen to an audio lecture. You can listen to anasheed. You can watch something that is useful. There are many, many things. If you have nothing to do while driving, say La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Dhikr. Subhanallah wa bihamdi. Subhanallah al-azim. Say Astaghfirullah al-azim wa atubu ilayh. These are beautiful adhkar And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said to somebody, لا يزال لسانك رطبا بذكر الله. Always keep your tongue busy with the remembrance of Allah. So this way you can benefit both. Remember, in one hadith, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, whenever people sit in any gathering or meeting and they are dismissed without mentioning Allah's name, without remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, such meeting will be a cause of regret for them on the Day of Judgment. Even if it was a good meeting, but they forgot to mention Allah's name. To say Subhanallah or Alhamdulillah or begin in the name of Allah, or at least to seal the meeting by saying Subhanak Allahumma bihamdik ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.
Jazakumullah khairan,
And I guess
Shaykh.
this is the end of the meeting.
Yes,
as well.
yes, alhamdulillah, this is a very good time to mention that dua, because yes, indeed, we've come to the end of this show. But don't worry, inshallah, we'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place on Huda TV. You can email your questions in the meantime to ask@huda.tv. And of course, even though we didn't get a chance to answer all the questions today, they will be inshallah answered in the subsequent days. Jazakumullah khairan. Please join us again tomorrow for another installment of Ask Huda. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
If my love is attached to thee, then from sins I will be free. Each time my heart will beat, your name will resound with heat. Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate